Hi everybody, Ryan Ballengee back here with Golf News Net here in our Washington, D.C. area home office. And we've got some new clubs in from our friends at Tour Edge Golf. For several years now I've gamed their Exotics 3-wood. It's really a driver length club with a 3-wood loft. And it is a perfect fit in my bag along with my 2 hybrid iron from Srixon because they give me a lot of options off the tee when I'm not able to hit driver. If I can only hit it 250, 260, 270, something short of 300 yards, I know I can put either of those clubs in my hand, find the fairway with them, and know that I'm going to be out there about as far as I can before I start tempting trouble. And the Exotics line for Tour Edge for years has been their bread and butter, especially in the fairway woods, now in the hybrids too. They've done tremendously well on PGA Tour Champions, getting a lot of players to use Exotics equipment and Tour Edge equipment, put it in their bag, win tournaments with them on the 50-plus circuit, and do great things. Simultaneously, they've had a lot of success with their Hot Launch line, which is their custom fit solution at a not custom fit price, an off-the-rack price. Because there are a lot of golfers who want modern technology and they want to be custom fit, but they don't want to deal with the pricing of it, whether that means going to a custom fitter, whether that means having all of the specs done out and then paying higher-end OEM prices. Hot Launch is a great solution for that. So with their new Exotics offering, Tour Edge is trying to kind of meet both those things in the middle. Offer cutting-edge technology, but at an extremely reasonable price that undercuts a lot of the guys in the market, while offering a lot of the performance characteristics we've come to expect, especially in the last couple of years, from drivers, certainly fairway woods, and hybrids. So they've sent us a driver, fairway wood, and a hybrid from the line. And so I wanted to kind of unveil them for you before we actually get to hitting them. So you can see from the head cover, these are the Exotics EXS, driver, fairway woods, and hybrid. Just before we get into it, the stock shaft on all of these is the Mitsubishi Chemical Tensai Blue. It's 2G. I went with the X in the driver and the 3-wood, went with stiff in the hybrid. And the 70-gram shaft is the choice I went with here. And the great thing about all of this was I was able to pick this out online, was to just say, okay, this is what I want this, this, and this, I want this shaft. Got it all done, got it to me in a very short period of time, and it is very exemplary of the experience you're going to get when you're working with Tour Edge. So, to take the EXS driver, this club is $300, which I think is mind-bending, given that the amount of technology involved here it's up there. I mean, it's up there with the biggest boys in this industry. And on the EXS, you have a couple of different things to kind of think about. So, of course, anytime you think about Exotics, you probably think about their Slipstream sole. They have that here, they have that in the driver, and of course they have in the hybrid and the fairway woods. They're always working to improve it. Particularly in this driver, the goal with the Slipstream was to make it a little bit more aerodynamic down at the bottom. So you're obviously not interacting with the turf as you would with a 3-wood or a hybrid. So in the case here is trying to make it a little bit more aerodynamic and generate speed. They have the flight tuning system, which is a couple of different weight ports, a 9-gram and a 3-gram weight. Throw that in the back or into the heel. So that way you can have a draw bias if you'd like. If you put the 9 grams here, if you put it in the back here, it's just bringing that CG a little bit lower and back, kind of what most people are trying to do with driver these days. Put that 3-gram here, kind of balances it out. Maybe a slight bit of draw bias, but not really. And you kind of keep that center of gravity where you want it if you're just trying to put it out there and hit it fairly straight. This is a Thai 811 chassis on this, so most drivers these days are not just metal. They're not just all metal. A lot of them have carbon fiber in them. There are some exceptions to that rule, but this Exotics EXS driver is not one of those. You have, again, a Thai body, but then you have dual carbon fiber technology, as they say, over at Tour Edge. So basically that means you have 2 big pieces, 2 big hunks of carbon fiber that connect this whole thing together. So you have a little bit here on the bottom, on the sole, and obviously the crown, as you can tell, it's murdered out, but it is carbon fiber in there. So really light feel overall to the product. And then on the face, something we've seen from a number of manufacturers, TaylorMade, from Ping to some extent, from Cobra certainly, with their face technology. What Tour Edge labels it is roll face, and their version of it is a modified version of bulge-and-roll, so that particularly on shots struck on the toe, you have a little bit more loft, and you'll be able to get the ball a little bit higher in the air and prevent it from going quite as far left when you kind of hit that classic duck hook style shot. Again, most golfers, particularly the amateur player, higher handicap player, they don't hit it on the low heel that frequently. Pros do because they're good, but you and I, we don't do that too much. I mean, I might do it once out of every 100 drives. I'm much more likely to hit a duck hook off the toe, and so that's what roll face is there for, to try to create at least a little bit more loft and a little bit more forgiveness for those of us who are going to hit the toe eventually. The hosel has 8 different lie and loft settings. You can go up and down a couple of degrees. You can change your lie angle. That's everything you would normally expect from this. Other than that, I mean, again, that's all the technology I just rattled off. That is what you would expect to find in a $500 driver. That's pretty remarkable to get in this kind of package. I like the blue look. I like the blue accents a lot. At its core, it is still a black driver, but I like the kind of finishing touches on it. It brings in the blue. It makes it look really nice. I mean, it really does go well with the head cover. It creates a very nice aesthetic to it. You can customize your shaft options. Again, as I mentioned, this is tensai blue as your kind of stock. There are other choices that you can go with through Tour Edge, and you don't have to pay an upcharge to get them. Now, cheering our way to the 3-wood here, honestly, other than the driver, this is the thing I'm most excited about because I kind of want to get a traditional 3-wood again in my bag, so I went with the 3-wood at 13 degrees instead of 15 degrees. So that way I can have a 3-wood length club that I would feel a little bit more comfortable hitting from the fairway if I'm going for a par 5 and 2, and still have a little bit of lower loft. So maybe I'll sacrifice a little bit off the tee, but I have a little bit more freedom, a little bit more flexibility with this being a shorter club. It really gives me the chance to be able to kind of hit it low and then let it run out. So for whatever distance I lose, that's okay. On the EXS 3-wood, again, this is kind of a steel product. But again, this has a high-strength steel cup face, the cup face technology on here. There's also cup face technology on the driver, as well in the hybrid that carries all the way through. Obviously, we're talking about steel on the fairway wood and the hybrid at that price point that they're at. If you're talking titanium, you're jacking things up by $100 per club, basically, at that point. Again, you have the flight tuning system here in the sole. You have the Slipstream sole that, as you traditionally would probably know it if you're a Tour Edge fan or if you've hit Tour Edge clubs in the past, you would know that. Kind of a little bit of weighting placed back here to bring that center of gravity a little bit lower, but you get the badging too. It's a cool look, I think, especially standing behind the ball if you're looking at it. I like that a lot. And again, you have the Tensai family here. Went with blue, went with the Series 60 for that one. And then you don't have the flexibility or the adjustability you would get on some 3-woods. I have never, ever in my life adjusted a 3-wood. I'm probably not about to start. Considering this is bonded, I'm not going to do that here, but I'm actually okay with that. I think just getting the right 3-wood in your hands for how often you're going to hit it in the course of a round, unless you're using it as a driving club, you lock in, you know what you're going to do with it. It's more about your swing than settings than anything else, so getting this fit right out the gate, you really don't have to do a lot with it other than that. And then finally, the hybrid is the last club that we received, and we went ahead and went with the 19-degree 3 hybrid. As I mentioned, I have a 2 hybrid iron that I really like, so I kind of wanted to try something that would maybe be a 3 iron filler. I don't have a 3 iron. I'll have a 3 iron equivalent in my bag. A 4 iron is my next iron. And for as much as I love what I have in my bag right now, there is a gap between 2 iron and 4 iron. I was wondering maybe this could fill it up a little bit. Again, same thing. You've got the high-strength steel in the cup face. You've got the Slipstream sole as you kind of know it. You've got a little bit longer of a hosel here to play with center of gravity a little bit. You've got weighting in the back, so you can keep that center of gravity low and back as humanly possible. It does have a little bit more of a wood-like profile than I would typically get in a club. Just over the last couple of years, I've kind of gravitated toward those clubs that are frankly more iron-like. That said, I'm very curious to hit this and see what it's going to be like for me out there. It's going to launch high, which I think is great. I think this could be a great opportunity to use as a par 5 club. Different from a 3-wood, which obviously is just a straight length play. You just got to get there. 2 iron I can use to hit it low and into the hole, or lower and into the hole. With this, if I need some kind of carry, or if I want to ride the wind a little bit more, maybe I could throw this higher up in the air and let it do its magic. Maybe get quite as far as the 2-iron might fly in the air. Maybe give me a couple different par 5s and 2. So I'm really excited to try this as well. Again, Tour Edge makes equipment that is typically underpriced for what you get in the technology. But what they have done here with the EXS line, especially in the driver and a $300 offering, is obscene. Cannot wait to try it out on the range. We will hook it up to our FlightScope Mevo. We'll give you all the data back on that in the next couple of weeks and tell you whether or not it performs, comparing it to the driver that we have in the bag right now from Cobra Golf, the F8 Plus, as well as some of the other drivers that we've hit in 2018. We'll report back that on a different video. But in the meantime, let us know what you think of how these guys look, their price point, and what you expect from them. There's a lot of buzz right now in online communities and through social media around Tour Edge, the Exotics EXS line. So again, really excited to try it out, and we'll take you behind the scenes of that testing as well. I'm Ryan Ballengee saying thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.